What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? Had to start an hour early due to film, uploads, editing, coaching, all that good stuff. It's a busy week. We got a lot going on. It's Tuesday, August 25th, 9:15 a.m. We got fights tomorrow in Australia. It's a busy week. Hopefully, wherever you're tuning in, you're doing well. Guys, our community's growing. I woke up this morning with 15 to 20 new Patreons, 15 to 20 new JSB insiders on YouTube. So if you're new and you just joined and you're either watching this live or you're watching it on our playlist, DM me on Patreon to get the Discord link or email me, and my email is in the YouTube profile to get the Discord link. To growing professional betting community. We stream all the fights there. It's not just boxing or MMA, it's all pro sports. We got college football, NFL starting soon. Every sport is in there. It's the community is really one of my favorite things about everything that I do. So shout out to the JSB crew. We've been around for about a year and we're just getting started. With that being said, last night I uploaded my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of Nikita Tszyu versus Ben Mahoney. Make sure you have notifications on this week because I upload those breakdowns on a different playlist, the Fight Prediction Stats Don't Lie playlist. Also, an hour ago, I uploaded my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of Corey Marksman. His fight, he's taken on an undefeated Puerto Rican slugger. So that is just uploaded as well. And once you watch it, after you like the video, it'll help me out if you just comment. Just say you either agree with me or disagree. Because we use those Stats Don't Lie videos as kind of like storytelling receipts. If you're new here, I do post all of my tickets, my parlays. You see my the full transparency in my game week in and week out if you're an insider. So in the comment section, though, if you're not an insider and you watch the Tszyu breakdown, even if we agree on the money line, I want you to put your outcome. Mark Smith's fighting Christian Barreto, and that is a fight that's flying under the radar. Mark Smith's getting a main event spot, the Caribe Royale in Orlando, and we last saw Marksman in a spot where we got him at plus 140, and the fight before that, he was a bit of a favorite on the money line. Either way, he's a good prospect, 25 years old. Beretta is a 29-year-old Puerto Rican. He's a slugger, front foot guy. If you haven't watched my breakdown, Beretta is a guy who thinks he could get he thinks he's going to get every single one of his opponents out of there. He's an old school Puerto Rican style fighter, front foot slugger. My favorite thing about Beretta is his lead hook. His left hook is his best punch. He keeps it clean. He keeps it tucked. And he kind of uses his movement and his pressure to set that hook up. The thing about Marksman, why he excites me, is his versatility in the ring. This is a kid who could use his feet if he has to, could fight at range, but he's exciting. He wants to be in a dust-up. He wants to be in the pocket. He'll work the body. He'll throw up top. He's a fun guy to pay attention to. This fight has a lot of implications at 135. Marksman will switch stances on you. He has good speed, good power. It's going to be, for me, it's going to be, will Beretta be able to get to Marksman? Will Marksman be able to handle the power when Beretta does land? And from there, who is going to have the deeper skill set? And it's kind of one of these fights flying under the radar in a very stacked week of fights. With that being said, now, if you're not in our Discord, I'll keep that link pinned in the chat, and I'm going to bring up the odds. We could get into it. You guys could let me know who you want me to talk about. If there's any fights that you're kind of concerned about. Also, I just dropped a new ticket. It's a 3-leg Australian mixed parlay. It pays plus 142. So all the JSB insiders, check your tickets. You also have my prop of the week. It pays plus 108. That's up. I reintroduced our JSB long parlay for the boys. I used to do this a week-to-week thing. I kind of got away from it, and then you guys have been asking me to bring it back. So we have our JSB long parlay just for this week. It pays plus 1,000. Just kind of a fun one to do. And then our heavy parlay that we started with Teofimo Lopez, the one that I bet my mortgage on. We need Kira, Callum, and Nikita to come through for us. That is plus 114. Our quarterly parlay from June, July, and August, it's a 12-legger. It pays plus 538. 11 out of the 12 hit. When Moses wins this weekend, our quarterly parlay would have hit for the second quarter in a row. And then the last one you guys have is our new quarterly parlay that started last week. It's a 19-legger. 4 out of 19 it hit. That pays 2,600. All right. Got all that out there. What's up, buddy? Morning to you as well. We are 5 minutes in. The chat's just going to get going. This is the Aussie card. I think it's safe to say that, and if you guys want me to dive a little bit deeper into any of these, feel free. I'm open. You guys got me for at least an hour. I woke up this morning with more fights than I had last night. So Max Reeves, I have Max on a parlay. Vegas Larfield, like the A sides here. It's an Aussie A side card. You guys hear me talk about this. We've gone. We're 100% the last two Aussie cards. The one that was last week, and then the Tszyu card, and we're gonna continue that momentum. And the boxing gods have blessed us with another A side festival. I could break down any of these Aussie fights because I don't expect you guys to know as much as I know, considering I live in Sydney. I coach fighters, and I'm a coach, and I'm a bit of a nerd. I've seen all these guys fight before. If you're hesitant on any of these guys, let me know. I could give you a scale of 1 to 10. What's the riskiest one on the Aussie card? I'll tell you. Method of victories. If I had the method of victory I like the most, if I had to say, you guys were like, hey Johnny, what is your favorite? You guys always like using the narrative of like, what's the most for sure possible outcome? Which one are you most comfortable with? And then after I tell you I'm not comfortable with any of them, I'll then give you my most comfortable one. For me, it's Callum Peters by knockout or Kira Rustin by knockout. And they're kind of just right there. Callum first and then Kira second. I like Nikita on points, by the way. If you would have watched my breakdown, you would have seen that. And that's a new feature that I'm adding to our tickets, is that right now every parlay I give the boys, the underdogs, the tickets, those are within our VIP group. Every Stats Don't Lie video, I started this a month ago. You guys should be paying attention. I'm giving you guys a ticket as well, and that's for everybody. Last week, and we're 4 for 4. The Teofimo Lopez ticket hit. The William Zepeda ticket hit. In this week, it's the Nikita Tszyu ticket. But it's Nikita on points, Teo on points, Zepeda. And we're 3 for 3 on our first 3 videos of giving those away as well. Shout out to our newest JSB Insider. Yeah, you boys just keep coming. Man, we're growing, dude. This is crazy. I got to start thinking of ways of how to manage. Our moderators do great in our Discord, and you boys as a community, you guys act like gentlemen. So as we grow, man, we have big plans. Over 600 in the first year. My goal is to double that in the second year. And we'll, year 3, year 4, we're shooting for the stars. So, if you are joined here on YouTube like Sky just did, or on Patreon, and you're not in our Discord, message me. You guys got to get there. That's where the magic happens. What's up, Johnny? JSB Killers. Salute. Let's get paid, John Mags. Let's go. What about Corey Marksman's props? I'll check. Jerry, when I did my video, I wasn't getting props. It was just the money line. Yeah. I mean, right now, Corey at 25% is great. Corey at 25% is a good parlay piece. You're already seeing the odds drop, not significantly, but a little bit. And I got to show you something, facts and sort of receipts. In Marksman's last fight, the opening lines, this is how quick our community, we're known for crashing lines. So this was Marksman when we got Marksman at plus 140. And if you look at the date, that was the Tuesday of fight week. By Sunday, he was a 62% favorite. So my point is, I'm high on Corey. I rate Corey. I like his fight IQ. I like his decision making. I like his willingness to exchange, his versatility. And in my breakdown, I talked about his optics of how he fights. I said something along the lines, something similar I said about Aaron McKenna. One of the many things in McKenna's game that I like is how the optics of when he fights, his body language when he fights, when he's in the pocket with his opponent. McKenna is always looking to mentally break his opponent. Marksman has something very similar in his game, which I really like. He's a joy to watch. And so 25% right now, it's probably as good as it's going to get on the money line. So if you like Corey, I would take him now. I don't have props yet. If they do, Corey's 5'9", Beretta's 5'6". Corey has a speed advantage. I just got to see about the power. I'm not getting too set. Like right now, the prop market isn't even on my mind with that fight. But if it does drop in tomorrow's live stream or the next day, we could talk about it. Johnny, is it true the secret to financial freedom is backing your men's? Yes, Billy Faye. The secret of financial freedom is backing the boxing picks and fading the women's picks. Yeah, be very hesitant on be very hesitant on everything. Actually, I go into life with a bit of a caution. Betting, dude, yeah, it's insane out here. Betting's crazy, man. The women have been torturing us, dude. I thought, yeah, I don't want to think about it too much. I'm still pissed about Carolyn, obviously, and I'm pissed about Auntie Tortina. So let's make an Aussie part. We already, what's up, Mo? Mo Reeves in this hoe. Aussie A-sides, big homie. Aussie A-sides. This is a no limit card. This is a card built around Nikita. They're putting a lot. If you're like Johnny, who are your top 5 favorite Aussie prospects that you feel have an opportunity to go past the Aussie level? Well, 2 of the 5 are on this card. Kira Rustin and Callum Peters. Those 2 should be on your parlay. Nikita should be on your parlay. Max Reeves, nothing is heavy, but if you're going like half unit, you just want to get some action. Vegas Larfield's in a good spot to get a dub. I'm not like Brandon Gratch. He's fighting Ike from Pluto again. They fought on the undercard of Timmy versus EJ, and they both took that fight on like 12 hours notice, and neither one was in shape. Gratch should get it done, but I don't think I have that fight on any of my parlays. What's up, legend? Skeezy. Perth in the house. Sub Johnny, thanks for your stats and live vids. Are you able to speak more about the Reeves fight, Peters and Wells? Yeah, I'll talk about Callum Peters. Guys, I'll just read. I do breakdown analysis because I write. I'm a published author as well. I like writing. I'm a nerd. I've written 2 books. You can get them at Dimmicks if you're in Australia. Hint, hint. Little cheeky plug. But I write sort of breakdowns on my Instagram story. And you know what? I'll just do it this way. Give me a second. So this is for Mike. So this is kind of Callum Peters in a nutshell. What you're going to see if you've never seen him fight before. His knockouts come from volume, pace, and pressure. He enjoys drowning people. Wells is decent, but I think Wells will be forced to punch with Callum, and we've seen Callum's gas tank. Will Wells be able to withstand Callum's pressure and keep him off of him? Once Callum smells blood, he then starts sitting down on his shots. The kid could crack, but his style is to keep everything near 50%. He's almost painting out there like an abstract artist who takes the blank canvas and starts brushing in real time. I really enjoy watching his style. He's also very opportunistic. He's a puncher in space. He's always looking to turn. his opponent and mitigate the empty space with volume. That's really important, guys. That's one of my favorite things about his style. You don't see it a lot in this modern era. Guys who are always working. He has this workman mentality. Why is it important that he's using 50% volume? Because he's using he's weaponizing his cardio and he's weaponizing his volume to then set up. He's playing the long game to then start sitting on shots. Fighters who frustrate me, I don't want to get, I'd take a little bit of a shot at Timmy there. But yeah, 50 cal, he wastes nothing, and I'll play you a little clip. So this next clip, keep in mind, this is what I mean about Callum's style. Watch how he turns. He's turned his opponent. He's punching right there. That is perfect of what I mean. As soon as he's turning you, he takes shots. He wants to be in the wheelhouse, turns his opponent. He's always looking to punch. Watch this little slap hook right here, out off the catch. This is beautiful technique right there. That's old school. And then right there. That's another example of what I'm talking about. And you have to be in shape. You have to be confident in your style. You have to be durable. He does take shots. He's only 21. His defense will get better. But in terms of a fan-friendly TV style, a guy at 21 who fights with that sort of maturity in terms of offensive aggression, joy to watch. Absolute joy to watch. And I really like his knockout prop there. I think Wells is going to be, no shade to Blake, a few levels below. I got Gratch as a full camp this time. Vegas money line, Cohen money. Yeah, Cohen should be in all of your parlays. Cohen should be in your parlays. I forgot to say him as well. Kira Callum. There you go. J-Side. Let's get this money. Let's sit on it. Australia, and then we withdraw it. You guys know I went mortgage on this ticket. The Tszyu, Callum, Kira, and Nikita. So when that hits, I'm cleaning it out, and then I'm just rebuilding my account. I'll clear it out, and then I'll deposit or leave in what my usual single unit is, and then I'll rebuild. It's kind of how I work for the tickets that I haven't put action in yet. Do you think it's cool to load up on now? When you say load up, there are all these A-side fights. There's not the value on all of them aren't the greatest. And here's the fights. We'll just do this together. If Nathan, to use Nathan's rhetoric, load up, meaning he's going to go heavy. Yes, I do have a 7-leg Aussie parlay on the A-sides. I do. But, Max Reeves, he has a loss. He should win this fight. This is a good spot for him to beat Oliver Firth. Oliver Firth is not on the trajectory Max is on. Max is going to punch with you. Larfield, this is a kid as a teenager, was on the undercard of Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook in Las Vegas. He's only 24. His only loss is a decision that I felt like he won. My only questions are why is Vegas still fighting 6-rounders? So in terms of loading up, Vegas will get the job done here. But for me as a coach and as a bettor, the questions are Vegas, why is he still fighting 6-rounders? You know what I'm saying? That's an issue I have with Vegas. Brandon Gratch, I told you about my issues with him. He, and like somebody did say, he is coming from a camp. He does come from that Newcastle gym. They call him the Bull for a reason. He's managed by Glenn Jennings, Nikita's manager, Costa Tszyu's longtime manager. So Brandon Gratch is put in this specific moment to this time stop Ike from Pluto. Ike from Pluto is a guy who's gone up and down in weight classes. He's an Instagram rapper from Melbourne. He's flashy. He'll put people in seats. But that first fight they took on 12 hours notice should not have been that close. Gratch, the shots Gratch was landing that Ike was eating, I don't think Ike is going to eat those. But still, it's not a fight that I would load up on. Gratch is going, this fight is made for Brandon to win. These are A-side feeder fights. Sam Beck is not in the same category as Cohen. Cohen is the shared opponent of both Ben Mahoney and Nikita Tszyu. Ben Mahoney had a draw with Cohen, and Nikita stopped Cohen in the 9th. Cohen's also the same kid who was supposed to fight Charlo before Charlo couldn't get his travel visa sorted with Australia on the Tszyu EJ undercard. Nikita, when asked this fight week, who is the toughest fight you've had so far in your career? He didn't say Dylan Biggs. Dylan Biggs dropped him, and early on in Nikita's career, and then Nikita ended up getting him out of there. And Dylan Biggs went on, to win the WBC Grand Prix. He said Cohen Muzadir was the fight that made him dig deep the most. And he ended up getting Cohen out in the 9th. So Cohen's fighting a guy, in my opinion. I think this is they're not even close to being on the same level. Sam Beck is coming off a fight in which he got stopped against Brock Jarvis. Just keep that in mind. I'll just leave it at that. Johnny, who are some of your favorite? Kira Rustin's one of my favorite prospects in Australia. I think he's going to starch Sandre Simmons. I don't care about Team USA. I don't care about the knockout to win ratio. Kira Rustin, at this weight class, his pressure, his power, where he wants this fight to take place, not all knockout to win ratios are created equally. I'll show you what I mean. I don't see this fight going probably past the 5th. I gotta be honest, and I'm not getting. If I were able to get a prop on this, I would definitely play it. So Sandre is a 20. He's a 29-year-old light heavyweight. He's been inactive. I think he's 9-0 with 9 knockouts. 9-0 with 9 knockouts. He last fought in 2025. He got the old Mexico treatment. 10-rounder. He's fighting guys who are 3-9, 6-2, 7-28, 6-29, 5-2, 4-9. You guys will see what I mean if you never see Kira fight. Kira is a brutal body puncher. He's an aggressive slugging guy who is going to. The thing about Kira on the down low, I don't think Sandre Simmons. I don't believe in his knockout to win ratio. By the way, I don't think he's the puncher that people think he is. Kira will 100% challenge that. That's what this fight's exciting. Kira, this is why, when you're talking about guys that are fan-friendly TV, Kira's a guy that if he thinks, he's fighting a guy with 100% knockout to win ratio. I'm not saying it's the best way to do things as a fighter, but his mindset is, all right, I'm going to stand right in the pocket and we're going to see whose power is real. And like I said, it's, make what you will of it. Kira also is 9-0 with 9 knockouts. That's why this fight has been made. And great, Kira had a great amateur career as well. And if you've never seen this kid fight, just Google him. Absolutely massive. I met him at the Nikita the Tim versus EJ fight. I could not believe how big he was in person. I was like, geez, I'm not a small guy, but I'm not the biggest guy. I'm like, my baseball card would say 6 feet tall, but I'm 5'11", right? I weigh 185 pounds, 9-10% body fat. I'm in shape year round. I'm 44, right? I very rarely will meet, and I go to fight. I grew up in gyms, right? When I met Kieran, shook his hand, I was like, holy shit, dude, his hands were massive. He looked like a heavyweight. I can't believe this kid he has to cut at least 30 pounds, 100%. Rustin has to, and you can tell in his frame. His frame is he's like this. His shoulders are out to here. It's his willingness and his aggressive style for me that I like. And if I had an opportunity to play the knockout, I would. You guys know the Aussies know the no limit boys. They know the no limit boys. They know what this fight's all about. I have 100 on your long parlay, 100 on the month long. It's smart to add Tszyu to a third. Is it smart? My only advice on that is the long parlay and the weekly parlay. I try to without convoluting the quarterly parlay. If you disregard the quarterly parlays that are out and just focus on my weekly tickets I do try to mitigate putting the same fighter on multiple tickets. It does happen. Nikita Tszyu should be on multiple tickets this weekend. Sturdy money. Let's get this money. See, a bounce back week for us is going 100%. All plus money. Sam Beck versus Cohen. No faith in Beck. 0. Morning, John. Do you think Ike from Pluto has a chance to beat Grotch? The first fight was short notice. Well, both guys took it on short notice, boss. Yeah, I figured I talked about this one. I'm not. It's the fight doesn't move the needle for me, but if anything, this rematch favors Grotch. 100%. 100%. The fight favors Grotch. By the way, can you send stats online, other pictures and videos on Patreon too? I do. They're all there. JK, if you're from Patreon, they're all the pics are on Patreon. Mike Perez is 40 and he struggled in his last fight. That was closer than the judges' score. He struggled with pace and power. I'm not getting that fight, Barium. Shout out to Barium, my guy. Aloy, where's Vegas sitting in your thoughts? Vegas Larfield at 24. He's fighting a kid from the Philippines they call the Vampire, who's fought absolutely nobody. They're both ranked high. They both weigh 50 kgs. The last thing you want to do is a Vegas Larfield draw. It's a 6-rounder, guys. That my hesitation is that. Like, why are we not moving him? Why is he not being moved? For an Aussie to be picked up and fight on a Bud Crawford undercard in Vegas as a teenager, he was getting comparisons when that happened to Billy Ackaway. And this, you guys probably won't know that name. You might know the last name. His father is a legend in Aussie coaching boxing. But at one time, Billy was Canelo Alvarez's sparring partner. And Billy would be on Canelo's undercards. And Billy at one time had 100% knockout to win ratio. And it was either John Ryder. It might have been John Ryder. I know the chat will correct me. It's been a while. In his biggest spot of his career, stopped him. And then Ackaway was only in his early 20s. And he never the same guy. You know, out of boxing a few years after that. But when Vegas got that chance, though, people were right. The media here were like, "This is, you know, his first name's Vegas. You know, he looks the way he does, rat tail, kind of like akin to Costa Tszyu, fun style." But then that was 6 years ago, and he's still fighting 6-rounders. So I know it doesn't sound like a direct connection to this bet, but it does. So just, you know, he should win, but betting on Vegas for me, my questions derive strictly of like why has his progression been halted? Because even in his loss, I felt he won. That was a crazy decision they gave the other kid. I thought he beat it. I thought it was a very easy fight to score too. Eloise isn't anything special. Yeah, but Eloise, I feel like Mike Perez is being fed to him. Don't you think, Barium, this fight is like a bounce back fight for Eloise? Or am I tripping? Jab, he's progressing on a day. Eloise isn't anything special, but he's built like a Rinze at 23 years old. Yeah, okay. I have Eloise on a parlay. Guys, there's 70 in here. Could you like the video for me? I don't ask you for much. I don't ask you for anything, actually. We're a community. You know, just like the video. I feel like a grub asking you guys for stuff. It's weird. I might have to start asking one of you fools for a haircut, though, boy. No, I'm growing it. With the fight taking place at the O2 on a Queensberry card, I think Junior's a solid parlay piece. He's on mine. I got him. It's only 6 rounds. Pluto versus Grouch should be more rounds. Yeah, guys, those 6-rounders, mate, you always got to be worried about the draw. And I got draw fatigue right now with the Lonnie Boudiche decision. So 6-rounders are always going to be sort of sweaty. Johnny, what's good? I know you're mad Deshaun Washington starting his fall off. When I played with bro in Houston, he was on Mahomes level. Yeah, the fall off was real, man. Deshaun was crazy coming out of college too. Deshaun at Houston was crazy too, man. He had a lot of weapons around him, and that offense though at Houston was built around him not having to check down too many times. It was built around him, you know, the receivers route running. You know, the certain offenses are complex. Certain you know systems are harder to win versus not. It's really hard to win in Cleveland. So being a lifelong Browns fan, I know it's probably not a popular opinion to say, but I could care less right now. I have so much trauma from being a Browns fan. I don't give a shit. If anything, I like a redemption story. All the handies he got, all the chicks he had to pay off for getting handies and everything, and like how horrible his career has been. I hope he has a Pro Bowl year. But that's how I look at life, though. I'm a hopeless romantic and optimist. That dude was really out there getting handies, paying for him. Come on, that needs to be studied. The fallout. I mean, I think we got our answer, King. The answer, the study of the fallout was that boy had such a sexual deviant behavior that fool wanted hand jobs and blowies all the time. It's like, bro, man, have some discipline. Discipline. The lack of discipline is the downfall of man. Sup, Johnny? What about Luis Torres, Valenzuela? I'm not high on Jordan White. I haven't seen the odds yet. I'd probably be looking to play a dog here. If Jordan White's the favorite, I haven't looked at it yet. Guys, you know how, what's up, Let? You guys know how I roll. Because we have fights tomorrow in Australia, I kind of, my mind just stays there. Yeah, Torres Valenzuela is actually the favorite. I'll get to that fight. The card's decent. Cardenas is fighting. Look, guys, we haven't had to say this in a while because we've kind of been put in a position to piece together our victories over the last few weeks, which is fine. We're always leaving with something, but because it really hadn't been an action-packed last couple of weeks, so we really haven't had to say this, but we don't have to bet on every fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm so invested in what happens tomorrow that my mindset obviously is already that it's going to go down the way I predicted tomorrow. And if that holds to be true, I'm not betting on short dog versus Valenzuela. Like we don't have to bet on every fight. I think the more you have your bankroll on point, the more you have your betting boundaries in stone in terms of what you will and won't do. And I'm still learning this. I look at, I've been betting my whole life, but from a boxing content creator perspective, I'm only 1 year old. I have so much room to grow. I have so much to learn about the strategy of betting. Boxing, to me, that's the easy bit. Where I'm learning and where I'm going to get better week in and week out is the strategy, making adjustments, having more boundaries. And for me personally, it comes down to leaving some fights alone versus, having no action rather than a little action when there's fights on. We don't have to bet on every fight. And then being a little bit wiser with my prop selection in terms of my bankroll. I've been up. This year has been really good for us as a community. If you're playing along from January 1 to now, I think it might be human psychology. When I'm up, I take more risks, and then those risks aren't smart risks. And I sometimes lose track of I'm giving, these reads need to be as switched on. They need to be as more consistent as, what am I trying to say? Like betting heavy on props is super risky. And that's kind of been my bankroll's downfall because I've been up. So adjustments I'm making moving forward is obviously not betting on every single girl fight, not betting on as many props as I tend to do. If you see me betting props, that's my ego. That's me getting cocky because I'm up, acting like, it's good to fucking hit crazy props, right? But it's also good to always win. But I'm still learning, man. Johnny, I need to write a book here soon. May have to tap into your knowledge background on that. I've got a while when I'll be ready. Terry, you let me know, man. Now you're you're speaking my language here, man. Dude, being a pro boxer, the best storytellers I've ever met in my entire life are retired pros. You know what I'm saying? Like boxers. Great story because the sport, a fight is a movie. A fight camp Think about the ebbs and flows of a camp, the ebbs and flows of a fight. Being an apex storyteller kind of goes hand in hand. I keep trying to talk Tommy into creating more content of this because Tommy and I ran on. We speak every day, and so he's obviously when he's breaking his fights down, you have to stay in the pocket. But his storytelling, I'm like, bro, you need to just create a content page where you're just telling these freaking stories out of he's out of his mind. But like boxers, if you ever meet my buddy Kelly, apex storyteller. Think about how Teddy Atlas. My favorite thing about Teddy is not his coaching, is not his picks, it's not his worldview. It's when he tells stories of the old days. I wish Teddy would just tell old stories about like coming up with cuss and like that era, because that to me is the Teddy I like. But message me, Terry. I'll help for sure. Callum Smith by knockout. I like Callum Smith. I don't know if I like Nikita by knockout, by the way. That'll be a point of contention in our group. I don't know. I'll show you the bet I like for Nikita. Nikita's odds are falling off of a cliff. Look at this. Nikita started at $1.24. Then money came in on Ben, and then that's a funny line when you look at it. This is if I were to play a prop, I like Nikita at plus 185 on points. And I talked about this in my breakdown. The points play for Nikita has everything to do with Ben Mahoney's ring experience. Ben Mahoney is a kid who started fighting as a 12-year-old, started boxing as a 12-year-old, then went on to have a Muay Thai career, and now as a 31-year-old real seasoned pro is an undefeated boxer. What does all of this mean? This tells you this kid knows how to fight and he knows how to manage a fight. Fight management at the highest level sometimes is the difference between losing on points and getting knocked unconscious. I feel there will be 50-50 exchanges, and I don't think it's shocking to say I hypothesize that Nikita is going to get the better of those 50-50s. Ben Mahoney is not a guy with a low fight IQ. Just hear him talk. Watch him fight. He makes adjustments mid-fight. He has a good jab. I feel he's going to entertain the exchanges a couple times to see how Nikita reacts. Maybe he sees a flaw in Nikita trying to punch over his jab or something like that. Or maybe he, takes a risk at, chopping the body down on that southpaw. But I feel once Nikita lands, Ben will then go into plan B, which will be stay on the outside, use your jab to catch Nikita coming in. Ben has a decent counter right hand. He has decent feet. He can use the ring. We saw him do this against Dan Hill. Dan Hill's whole game plan was to pressure Ben, make him uncomfortable, swarm him, and put him on his back foot. And you got to see Ben being able to use the entire ring. It was a close fight. He did look uncomfortable. We know Nikita's strengths aren't necessarily his amazing footwork. He's gotten a lot better with his feet, but he's not like a world-class operator with his feet. He is quick. He's explosive. He has power in both hands. I feel, and especially for the price, I love plus 185 on points. Also, we're talking about a kid in Ben who has been a winner at every level he's fought at in multiple combat sports, who's getting an opportunity to fight for an IBF title eliminator at home. It's really hard for me to see Ben Mahoney get stopped at home as well. Can we talk, Rustin, any thoughts on the big odds movement? Let me see what you're talking about, odds movement. Yeah, Rustin's going to destroy Simmons. Here, Rustin's going to destroy. What are these odds you're talking about? Oh, the odds fell off a cliff. They Are we talking about 4 cents coming in on Simmons? Look, guys, everybody, this is why I love our community. This is why I love what we do as a team. And, those of you who are just watching in the shadows, who like to see what we're talking about, who never partake, who wouldn't consider yourself part of our community. Why I love what we do as true fans of the sport who take our hard-earned money and risk it on outcomes is the fact that people are going to go to BoxRec and they're going to look at what Kira Rustin looks like, just the BoxRec. And then they're going to go and look at what Simmons looks like. And then they're going to see the records, 9-0, 9 stoppages. And then they're going to go to their books and they're going to see these odds. And then they're going to put money down on what certain people look like. And so this right here, if I had a prop under 6, I'd play it. When you look at Kira's tape, what he used to look, Kira Rustin, when he was an amateur, I shared this in the Discord. When Kira was an amateur, he was a mover. He was a guy he was like almost like a reflex fighter. Kira Rustin is an amateur. Always big, always a good puncher. He's stopping guys in the amateurs, right? But he would use his movement and his sort of angles to frustrate you and win on points. When he turned over and became a pro, he stopped moving. I don't know if that had to do with him believing in his power more. His whole style, he doesn't even look like the same fighter when you watch these kids, when you watch his amateur style versus his pro style. And I'm going to pull up what I'm talking about. I shared this in our Discord yesterday. Why this matters is it just kind of shows the versatility. Rustin's just not a big punching marauder who likes to be in slugfest. He has it in him to use his feet if he has to set things up from the outside, to win on point. He just doesn't like doing it. The kid likes to be in a freaking firefight. And what a fun knockout prop guy to bet on too. You know what I'm saying? If I had the options, I would definitely take Kira by stoppage. I definitely don't think this kid is going to beat him. Give me 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Giving you a countdown. 5. All right. So this is Kira in the white hat. The white headgear. You know, it's just kind of it's just kind of a highlight. I'm just seeing. I'm just picking on one of these highlights. So if you guys have never seen Kira fight, he's gonna be on the front foot. He's gonna break you down. He's gonna make you punch with him. He takes one to give one. He's big as hell. He's strong as hell, and he has power in both hands. Some guys weaponize their cardio. He weaponizes the front foot. Like fan-friendly TV style, dude. Like the sport would be, if everybody fought like Rustin, I mean, you'd have short careers. I'm not going to say he's going to have a long career, but this kid is an absolute monster, dude. I'm excited to see what the face-offs look like. And, you know, if you want to understand his psychology, No Limit put the press conference on their YouTube. You could hear how you could hear the questions they're asking him and then how he's responding. That I think that says a lot about a fighter too. Vegas on points if they bring that prop out. Yeah, fighting the vampire. Vegas hasn't got that. I mean, he's 24 and he fights at 50 kilos, though. You know what I'm saying? Some guys peak and mature at those lighter weight classes at 21. You know, think about Bam and a lot of the Japanese guys, a lot of the Filipino guys. But like Vegas is 24. I get, you know, I didn't. Vegas has been boiling down too to make this for 6 years. Johnny Women buys Burners last week, but I really like Chantel Cameron. No, I just it has burned us, but Mayer is gonna outclass Cameron. Mayer's really really good. She's bigger, she's taller, she's longer. Mayer's good, man, and I like Mayer in this spot too. I think I have Michaela on just one parlay, but that's about it. I might just maybe we just reserve the ladies to our like a long parlay, nothing too investment, a quarter unit sort of thing. Kira Rustin's a scary dude. Kira was stopping people in the amateurs regularly. Yeah, you could see it, dude. Kira is a interesting. Waking up in our Discord, seeing people, you guys know in the chat, people get scary during fight week, during film study, and then everyone's trying to find a dog. Rustin, you don't have to be scary about. Yes, sir. FJQ, we still good. Is Nikita good? Nikita is still good. What do we got question marks for? I don't know what the question mark is for. I'm gonna go FJQ. Mike Perez being 40, solid, strong dude, can probably hold up his own, goes the distance. I'm like, if you don't have to play props, guys, if we're finding plus money, you might not have to find props. One of the sleeper picks this weekend is Jordan White over Lewis Torres. Torres is my guy, but he can lose this matchup. I don't trust Jordan White. All right, you guys brought this fight up to my attention. Shout out to Gil, JSB Mod, OG, keeping the boys aligned, keeping the boys in check since August 2025. Shout out to Gil. Yeah, I haven't given too much thought to this fight. Gil, you're the second guy to bring it up on the live stream. So, like I said, when the first guy brought it up, Short Dog versus Valenzuela. Let's get through Australia first. You know, I got a lot invested in this fight tomorrow night. I got a long shot parlay. Moses Jolly is plus 600. Last time I checked, he could be live. Jolly against. He's fighting. I saw it in my books. I don't think Jolly's live, bro. Is Jolly fighting? I definitely don't think Jolly's live. He's definitely not beating Guido Vianella. He's not alive. Sorry. There are multiple Jollies in heavyweight boxing, though. The only thing I can think of is maybe it's a different Jolly. Dude, Moses Jolly, yeah. Moses Jolly is horrible. Guido Vanella got some class to him, boy. I think he might be thinking of, there's another Jolly in heavyweight boxing. I think that's who he's thinking of. Yeah. Y'all don't have to be. Look, the one thing we do really well is nobody's right. And nobody's trying, like, we don't have to torch each other if we're wrong. I just think Italian fighters nowadays. You know, my mother, her whole family were from about an hour north of Rome in this Abruzzi region, Tuscany. So half of my blood is central northern Italian. But you're right, we're not known for boxing. Not in this era. We're known for good things, not boxing. My girl's from Sicily. She's from southern Italy. Siciliana. They're known for certain things too. They robbed Verone here. Man, you crazy. Verone fought better. Verone was more competitive than people thought he was going to be. People knew Verone was good. Coming up from 54 to 60 was the biggest question. Look, I'm not a guy, if you watched my live stream yesterday, I told you guys, I'm not a Yo-Yo Hernandez believer. I'm not a Yo-Yo Hernandez truther. If the fight happens tomorrow, I talked about this. If the fight happens tomorrow, clip this, film it. Tell your people how stupid I am. I would 100% take Aaron McKenna to beat Yo-Yo. I just think he's the better boxer. He's taller than him, bigger reach. I think Yo-Yo is missing gears. He's the lack of technique. He gets hit with shots he shouldn't be getting hit with. I don't think he punches as hard as people think he does. He doesn't sit on anything. Talk about a frustrating guy to watch. I've never been a big yo-yo guy in terms of like ordaining him as he shout out to Julius Knows Boxing. He might be 40 years old too. He might be 40, he might be 51 years old too on the down. Now this one I could vibe with. Even though I won my bet, even though I picked Utria and Utria won, so the history books will only remember who won. Yeah. It was Izzy. But guys, as a bettor, if you're new to the game, politics, A sides. You knew Utria just signed with PBC. You knew Utria was the A side. You did know those odds were out of control. Probably after we watched it, it was a very even fight. And Mercado, I scored at 6-4 for Mercado. Did he win? No. Was it a PBC card? Yeah. When you're putting your money on whoever fight you want to win, it should never be about, oh, these odds are good. He's good enough. That should be a thought, but you should also ask yourself, well, who's the promoter out here? Where this fight taking place at up in here? You know, is this an Eye of the Tiger card? Is this a PBC card? Is this a no limit card? Like, you got to ask yourself these things. So, do I agree with you that Mercado got robbed? Robbery is kind of a strong. I wouldn't say robbed. I scored at 6-4 for Mercado. Did he win on paper? No. Did I bet Mercado to win? Hell no. So those are the breaks. It's cheap. Jolly isn't a good fighter. Shouldn't be anywhere. Yeah, I agree. Cheap. Guys, we're almost an hour in. We got 79 in here. We peaked at 84. Like the video for me. Check the 2 breakdowns I did. Nikita, you should know my take on Nikita and Mahoney, and you should know my take on Marksman and Beretta. Those 2 film studies are live. I'm also going to be uploading. I'm uploading videos. I'm going to be doing them every day. So I'll make sure you have the notifications on. Verone did his thing, but I think he barely lost. Yeah. I mean, he's stunned. He's stunned Yo-Yo. Verone has a very proud style. Wasn't hurting him. It's going to be tough coming in as the B-side in that spot, you know? Nikita in a 12-rounder just noticed, thinking something will happen between 8 and 12. Something will happen. He could, yeah, maybe you can see Ben Mahoney falling apart 8 to 12. Nikita's not a big volume guy, though. It's not like, there's a difference with pressure and volume. I told you this, if I were Ben Mahoney and I was his camp, I would watch Nikita Tszyu versus Danilo Creati. Danilo Creati is a kid that is from Italy, who was trained by Tony Del Vecchio at Bondi Boxing, who went the distance with Nikita. And Danilo is a kid, if you were to go to Bondi Boxing and assuming he's still fighting, you would see him in the ring and you would think he held a belt. This kid, he's one of those guys in the gym, looks world class. I remember watching Danilo on the pads, watching Danilo spar. I was like, who the hell is this dude? He's super slick and tricky, very elusive, has sneaky pop. And Nikita really struggled with the elusiveness of Danilo. You got to assume Ben Mahoney's camp knows that. So I'm leaning on that. Like, that would be the game plan. And if you're Nikita, you just see what Ben looked like in his last fight against Dan Hill. He didn't look too comfortable with that pressure. I don't know, though, if I'm Nikita's camp, how much I'd be willing to get your fighter out of the norm of what he usually does, though. For Ben, he's the B-side. He's the big dog. Ben is the one that is more aligned. Like, Ben's elusive. Ben's longer. Ben can fight on the outside. I see more comparisons to Ben Mahoney and Danilo Creati than I do with Nikita and Dan Hill. So the strategist in me, I'm banking on the fact that Ben Mahoney did his homework, and they're going to try to pull a Danilo Creati and go the distance with Nikita. And that's what I'm banking on. Only upsets I can see is Chantel, Cameron, Moses, but the homie, yeah, Moses is not good. Upsets. Is Chantel a dog right now? Upsets. Well, even though I have marksman against Beretta, we're gonna find out. Beretta plus 350. He's an undefeated power punching Puerto Rican. He's 5'6". He has a great left hook. We're gonna know right off jump. Obviously, I took marksman to win on the money line, but if Beretta's left hook is as strong and as powerful as he thinks he is, he has a chance because Corey is going to give him that fight. Corey fights with, his balls on the table. Corey's that type of guy. And Christian has a really nice lead hook. It's tight, it's compact, it comes out of nowhere. He hides it with head movement, doesn't always throw it off a jab, doesn't even always throw it behind something. He'll throw it naked, but he's always moving. And he's a confident, undefeated Puerto Rican. So I'm not, plus 350. I like Corey in that spot. I'm just saying nobody will know if that power is real until we see them in the ring. Miranda Reyes at plus 225. We're going to leave that alone. Some people like Mike Perez at plus 310. I don't. Some people like Dennis Baranchik at plus 380. I don't. Chantel Cameron at plus 210. She is home. She's the A side. Michaela Mayer is the bigger girl, the taller girl, the more skilled girl, has more of a versatility in her game. I can see why you think Chantel's live here, all things considered, the politics of the game. Plus 210 is a good sprinkle. I like Michaela in this spot, by the way. Moses, I like Moses 1 through 6. Here's my favorite prop of the weekend, boys. I gave this away. We'll see if the odds have crashed. We'll see if our team crashed these odds. And if they're not crashed now, they're about to be. Did they take it off the board? Wow. I'm not even... Well, surely that... Did they take it off the board? I got 1 through 6. They're only giving me 1 through 4 now. Here we go. So this is my favorite prop of the weekend. Right now it's plus 108. So you're still doubling your money. You're still a plus money. But I got it at, when I gave it to the boys... No, it hasn't moved. It's still plus money. Guys, this right here is my favorite prop of the whole... If you're a prop hunter, props are a tricky ball game. Remember what I say about prop hunting. A condomless whorehouse. That's prop hunting. The same with betting on MMA and betting on the Dana White Contender Series. It's fun. It's entertaining, but it's volatile and risky, just like a condomless whorehouse. Remember that. Yeah, I'm a bit wild. Plus 108. I love that prop. Moses to get the job done within... He has 18 minutes to do it. Or does he have... Does 1 through 6 mean we get the 6th round? I should know this. 1 through 6. Do we get the 6th round? Do we get all 3 minutes in the 6th round? Do we get... So it basically should say 18. You get 18 minutes to get him out of there. I think Moses is going to get Hrgovic out of there within 18 minutes. And to go the distance is Nikita and Callum, but I doubt it. Maybe Nikita goes, but Callum. Yeah, I really like Callum by knockout. I watched one of Mo's Guido. Juan Carlos Carrillo seems like a tough fella too. He can punch and takes one. Yeah, look, because I've watched Najee come up, and I think Najee is getting better. And I think this version of Najee is like he's peaking. Carrillo has some game to him. Carrillo has, let's see those odds. I didn't see the odds. I definitely like Najee in this spot, though. Najee's also one of these fighters that he always seems to step up. We saw him in a war. He gets hit a lot. He'll fight for your money. Ooh, the return of Brandon Mosqueda. I'm excited for that fight. Mosqueda versus Palomares. Bronco Lara versus Ornelas. Let's go. This is a sneaky good card. Lester versus Plantich. Najee versus Carrillo. Yeah, I got Najee on my weekly parlay. I'm riding with Najee here. I think I trust him to figure it out. I trust him to figure him out. He's tricky too, man. People see his last fight and just see how sort of like willing he is to get into a firefight. Najee has some craftiness to his punch selection and the angles he throws his shots at. Are the odds a little wide? Should Carrillo be a 3-1 dog? I don't know. I like Najee in this spot. I'm not betting against him. Not yet. He's gonna have to. He's one of those guys for me. He's gonna have to show me why I should stop betting on him. Agree, Johnny. I'm the same. The more you have, the more you tend to bet. Yeah. So that's I got to get better with that. We got to be disciplined. Let's be disciplined. This week is loaded, and people treat me elite when I tell them I'm in a betting academy. You are elite, man, though. Pro, you are elite. That's great. It's amazing, dude. Think about. It's not like I'm running. I do a lot of behind the scenes work within our group to keep it. You know what I'm saying? We have moderators. Shout out to Gil. We put a lot of energy and focus on keeping it professional too. You guys know the way, and that starts like I've never been in a Discord group before. I've never heard of a Discord until you guys made me start our Discord community last year. So I don't know what expectations are in other groups. All I know is what you guys tell me, and whether it's a locker room, a football team, a baseball team locker room, whether it's an office, like leadership starts from the top down in terms of how we treat each other. So I don't know if other Discord communities are toxic and people talk, but like you'll get that, but we nip it in the bud and it starts at the top. I don't put up with any of that. We should treat each other how we should want to be treated. Another thing about our community, if you lose a bet, we're not gonna pile on you. If you had a bad read, it's a bad read. Let's win and move. Let's move on. But I could always tell the newbies in our group. I have to kind of like check them a bit. Is during fight night, after the fight result, how they interact with people if either they won or they lost. I was like, oh, they must be new. That's not how we act here. You know what I'm saying? We don't call each like this is a professional environment to sort of share ideas, share plays, share reads, share tape, and just get this money, man, and keep it professional. Let other people, outsiders, act like idiots. There's fights in Puebla, September, Mexico. Julio Chavez Jr. is fighting. I thought Chavez Jr. got sent to the Pookie. Didn't he? Didn't he get locked up? No, they're like, oh, they put them up to bed. Billy Lyle, the pride of Youngstown, Ohio. Billy Lyle once fought Chavez Jr. in an actually really competitive war back in the day. Nikita fight is a 12-rounder. Tszyu versus Mahoney fight to go the distance plus 100. I like it, man. I like it. Ben fighting at 12-year-old. Yeah, it's going the distance, dude. Look into it, man. I'm not FJ, and the boys know this. You know this. My goal is never to make you guys change your bets. I've never once called myself an expert. I've never once told you I know more than you. I don't sit on a fucking high horse acting like I'm better than anybody else. All I'm doing and all we're doing is giving each other reads and letting you know what we see. And that's the strength of our community is the more perspectives you could have, as long as they're insightful, well thought out, with research, they're not all going to be right. And we'll throw a lot of them away. But over time, you start seeing different perspectives on fights and matchups, and you'll hear one or two new things about a matchup that you didn't know before. And that's what we do really well is we listen to others' insights. Don't always have to agree. I think as a guy who's my age, who's been around the game my entire life, when I see fighters who were lacing up their wrists and gloves and rapping as a 12-year-old, this is like preteen. And now he's an undefeated pro and successful combat sports athlete of multiple sports. This is a kid who knows how to operate a ring. So unless I don't expect Ben to make too many risky calculations. Do you like Jordan White money line? I think I don't like betting on him. I haven't thought about it yet. Ask me after Australia. Hey John, we actually again the Perez versus Aloy's fight. Aloy's 28 money line. Not sure what Perez motivation to be still boxing 40. He's been quite labored. Yeah, I got Aloy on a parlay, Mike. Today Rustin dropped as a -500 favorite. Yeah, it's big favorite. Another opportunity. What's up, Showtime? It is an opportunity. Do you get Max Reeves versus Firth on Bovada? That's why I like they put up. Yeah. $1.17 money line. How do you rate Hrgovic's ring IQ? I don't. If I'm thinking about Hrgovic, what he's bringing into the ring against Moses in relation to how I rate Moses, he could have the highest ring IQ of any fighter. You're not going to be able to survive in there with his limited upper torso mobility, how he gets hit, his feet. And the reason why I like the 1 through 6 is actually a compliment to Hrgovic. Like when we're betting at least when I bet outcomes, if it's a lot of times, if I'm taking a guy to win by knockout, it's something that I'm taking about his opponent that's a positive. For me, from what I've seen Hrgovic talk about ever since this fight got signed, this is a guy who feels he's been slated his entire career. He feels like he hasn't made the money he's deserving of his entire career. He feels that this young kid is getting unnecessary shine, and he feels like he could go in there and show him and outclass him, which means that he's going to put himself in harm's way. And because of his confidence, because of his willingness to prove a point, I think he's going to get stopped early. Cone, Sam, Vegas. Cone, easy money. Vegas is in a good spot. I was thinking Hrgovic could survive anything over 4.5. You think he could survive anything over 4.5? I don't know, man. Moses is really fast, really tricky, really powerful. At that weight, these big guys, all you got to do is touch the right spot of the chin. And speed creates that. Speed sets that stuff up. Yeah, I just need, I'm banking on the 18 minutes. Is Nikita draw worth a sprinkle? I mean, it's not the. I gotta be honest with you. I would never bet the draw. Ever. I've explained this before on live streams. It's a personality thing. I don't know why. I don't know. I would never bet a draw. Now live betting's different when you see a fight, the ebb and flow of a fight, and you're like, oh shit, this has maybe there's a knockdown, point deduction, maybe it's a 6-round or like an 8-rounder. But like to go and pre-fight and then I have to then watch a fight and then hope for a draw, I can't do it. Do I see a world of Ben Mahoney outclassing Nikita? I actually do, man. It sounds crazy. Ben is a really good boxer. Ben has a really good fight IQ. Ben's technically sound. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I thought about the draw as well. But I'm leaning on Nikita continuing to level up, Nikita's hand speed, Nikita continuing to work on his feet, and then his power. And so if all of that plays in how I expect it to, what we're going to see is a very negative Ben Mahoney. And I think that Ben, young father in his early 30s in front of his people, he probably has no problem. I don't see him having any worry at all fighting negatively and surviving to not get stopped. I don't think he's wired the same as a guy like Nikita in terms of being willing to know that you're on the short end, and then for the sake of excitement or for the fans, put yourself in a position to get knocked out. That's not how he's wired. This kid grew up in the ring. He knows how to survive. He knows how to win rounds. He's technical. If Nikita catches him, I think it'll be early, actually, in one of those early 50-50s. And I don't think that Nikita is going to put the pressure on that Dan Hill did. I don't think it's not his style to have that engine. Like Dan Hill's whole game plan was like, let me just pressure him and make him fight off of his back foot. Ben wants things to be at his tempo. Ben likes things neat. You know what I'm saying? He likes the story being told on his watch. He doesn't like when that story is being read by somebody else and the tempo is slightly increased. He doesn't like that. Dan Hill did that. It was a great game plan. It just didn't go his way on the scorecards. I don't think Nikita, though, with his expectations, feels that he has to do that. Like, he doesn't have to come out of himself to make the fight look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? At this stage in Nikita's career, he's not going in there thinking he needs to get him out of there. He just needs to win. And the one thing I do like about Nikita, what we've seen, is, he used to force a lot of things. When you watch his first few fights, he's a lot more patient in that sense of not trying to create something that isn't there. Blake Wells, being 33, I feel is mature enough and got that man strength, survive, take punches to go the distance. He gets hit way too much. I don't think so. Play it. What I'm seeing, Blake gets hit way too much. Callum's volume and pressure is absolutely insane. Callum never lets you breathe. Callum is a good body puncher. That's just what I see. If Callum was a little less aggressive, if Callum didn't have as much volume, if Callum wasn't constantly in your grill, it takes a really sort of composed vet to deal with that style. Joshawn James almost crumbled over it. We saw Joshawn in there with Lester Martinez. Joshawn was hurt early, but then he was able to sort of steady the waters and lose a wide points decision. But Joshawn, good background. They brought him down for a reason, to test him. I don't rate Blake Wells even close to Joshawn James. David, my guy, publicly, I apologize, bro. I told you I would. I get too comfortable sometimes in our chat when it's just us boys, and sometimes I don't mean to offend people, and sometimes I do. And if I do, I say I'm sorry. So good to see you, big dog. Terry Harper's going to roast. I do. Yeah, Terry Harper, man. She's big, long, good hand speed, good fight IQ. Yeah, I think Miranda's going to be a level below. I think we're going to see levels there. I think that's fair. Jolly fighting Guido. This Jolly is not good. Bobby Anderson. I really like these two midweek action. Vegas plus Reeves, Moose, Parlay, Grouch, Russ, and Peters. Yeah, these are the A-sides, Bobby. Guys, the A-sides are going to feed us. Now, hey, mate, just read this. It's Harry. New Patreon. I have this. He got the VIP Patreon service. Not everybody signs up for that. That's that 24-hour mobile service, boy, that we just... PJ, I don't know what he's laughing at. I got to catch up. Who knows what I said? I talk a lot of trash. I'll take your word on it. Don't take my word. No. I don't want... And that's the crazy thing about me. I don't want you listening to me. I want you guys using our chats and my film study as just another tool in your arsenal. I want you to build your knowledge of the game. And if you can get your game up, if you think that I know more than you, I'm saying, if you're one of these guys that you think that I know more than you, I then want you to build your game up to where my game is, so then I could elevate as well. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not telling you to change your bet. I've never said listen to me. I'm just telling you what I see. That's it. That is literally it. And Yo-Yo doesn't throw enough volume. Yeah, Yo-Yo, man. Yo-Yo will make you pull your hair out. They're saying everybody is live. Yeah. The scary chat. I think from Tuesday to Thursday, the Discord's scary. Do a live with more boxing, please. I'll message him. We'll see if we can just throw something together last minute. Guys, we both have careers too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I run a full-on business outside of this. Johnny being on Julius too. It may be thin saying Aji is no bet for him, something like that. Yeah, Julius likes Carrillo there. Understandable. You think Adamas beats? Yeah, Carlos Adamas, mate. Allegedly, Adamas is moving to 68. I think he did. Adamas is that dude. Adamas is special. Yo-Yo's not special. I think we could all agree that he's not special. Not everybody's special. You could become a world champion and not be special. It's actually not a negative comment. For us to even sit here and try to categorize somebody and question, hey, is this guy special? They must be pretty good. I think of Adamas as being special. I don't think Yo-Yo is a special fighter. Johnny Hrgovic versus Tuama fight ends 1-3. I did 1 through 6, Gil. I know that some of the boys in the chat like. Shout out to GK. GK posted his first round. GK thinks it's going to be over in 3 minutes. I hope he wins, because if he wins, I win. Bro, Moses, yeah, he ain't getting upset. I like Corey too. Jordan gets the upset. I think, I'm going to look into Jordan then, guys. Barreto went the distance with Felix Caraballo. Shakur stops in 6. Raymond stops him in 8. Yeah, there. You talk about Marksman's opponent, Barreto. He's had these lulls in his career. He's 29 now, and he only has 61 pro rounds. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's really going to struggle with his style against Marksman, because Marksman's going to meet him there, and Marksman has the faster hands. He's the taller guy. He has a longer reach. My question is, I said in my breakdown, is we're going to see about that power. I really like Beretta's lead hook. I really like it. Yeah, you get the 6th round. Okay, perfect. So we got 18 minutes. At plus money, if you guys get the prop, you guys could get Moses Ituama at plus money, and he has 18 minutes to get Hrgovic out of there. I love it. I have that. Watch my breakdown, player. What's up, Rez? Rez Unique in the house. 6 counts. Boom, I'm getting caught up. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up soon. Barreto went the distance. Yep, Boxing Assassin. We do keep it copacetic. Thank you, gentlemen. How do you feel about Max Reeves? Reeves should win this fight. He's in a good spot. I wouldn't go heavy on it, Henry. Big Johnny, Brandon Gratz survivor. Gratz asked for this fight. Gratz is favored. Gratz is the bigger guy. He's a harder puncher. He has a camp for this fight. They fought on the Tszyu Spence undercard, and they fought each other on 12 hours notice. Gratz was like a fraction of himself. Ramon Cardenas, Carrillo, interesting. I expect Cardenas to win. He's always in fun fights. He gets hit a lot. Good hand speed, good power. We ride or die. E-money, we up. Who is on upset alert? Cohen. Vegas 100%. Cohen is not on upset alert. Vegas, if you were to say somebody would be, it would be Vegas. Let's go, RoboCop. Vegas is fighting an undefeated Filipino guy they call the Vampire. I talked about it all week. My issues and hesitation on even betting Vegas is the fact that he's been a pro for so long. He's still only 24 years old. As a teenager, he was on the Terrence Crawford, Kelbrook undercard in Vegas, which is a career-defining feat for an Aussie boxer, let alone an Aussie teenager. Why are you still fighting 6 rounds? Why aren't we moving him? When you watch his tape, he tapes really well. Technical, fast, sharp, aggressive, always in your face. Doesn't have the best head movement, gets hit a lot, could get touched a little bit. And he's still fighting 6 rounders. So Cohen, easy money. Vegas, I still have questions. Yeah, I could definitely see Moses stopping Hrgovic early. Hrgovic too stiff for Moses, going to catch him cold. Yo, didn't know you. Yeah, check the play. I uploaded it this morning. Corey's one of my favorite prospects. I like watching Marksman fight. You think Harper loses, dude? I definitely don't think so. She's going to be a couple levels above her opponent. Bigger, taller, longer, better hands, more technical, more skilled, more variance in her approach. She's going to win rounds. Harper on points is probably the play. Guys, I'll see you in the next one. JSB Insiders, baby. Let's go.